Welcome to Bill and Rob's, an excellent adventure. I'm Bill Tilley.
And I am Rob Schulte. Bill, we're back at it again here in the year 1989. Much like last episode, we're staying consistent in 1989. But that's not the theme of this season.
No, it would be a good theme. It would be fun, but that is definitely not where we're anchoring ourselves to. We've come up with a little bit of a different slant on this. We just happened to wind up in this year, but we are in the second episode of what I have called the sibling rivalry series, where we're watching movies that star, I hate to say the word less famous siblings,
but they are. I mean, that's not necessarily a negative.
Yeah, famous in the exposure sense, because, you know, everybody's heard of Patrick Swayze, but not everybody's heard of Don Swayze.
I guess you'd call him the star of this movie, but he's the antagonist, really.
He is the antagonist. He is definitely top billing. He is a star of this movie.
He's the Tom Sandoval.
Oh, jeez.
To Sam Jones's, Tom Schwartz.
Okay. I'll buy that one.
Okay.
I'll go with that one.
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. Sam comes off a little more Jax Taylory in this every once in a while.
That is true. That's very well. I think that works then. Tom Sandoval to Jax Taylor. Especially nowadays.
Yeah, the other great parallel is this one's probably going to wind up behind a dumpster at some point.
That's true.
Your hit podcast, Vanderpump Rob's covers.
Yes. So sorry. I got to say, before we get to the back of the box, Bill, I thought Don Swayze did a great job.
Yep. Yeah. That's a big reason why I picked this movie, because not just because it stars Flash Gordon and Daisy Duke, but I remember this. I've seen this movie once before, and we'll find out how here in just a minute. But I remember Don Swayze in this role, and I remember thinking, he's just chewing it up. He is taking it to task with the script that he's got. And I really enjoyed watching him on screen. I think he's great.
Yeah. And, when you pull up Driving Force on IMDb, the more like this section could be its own Bill and Rob series.
Mm-hmm.
Talons of the Eagle, Nicole, Low Blow, Back in Action, starring Roddy Piper and Billy Blanks. Let's see here. Blood Fist, Criminal Act, Expect No Mercy, Street Justice, Maximum Force, Balance of Power, Masters of Menace. I gotta watch all of these.
I've seen at least half of those movies and own a couple of them.
I should say, Bill, also, you're an Ohioan?
A Buckeye.
A Buckeye? Yeah. Why wouldn't I have gotten that? Today, the day we are recording, which will be, weeks in the past for our listeners, we released on Pumpkin Spice Podcast a movie set in Dayton. That movie is right up your alley. It's called Deadbeat at Dawn.
Love it.
And if that is not on your list, Bill.
Oh, it's on my list because you had mentioned you were doing something earlier, and you were kind enough to send me the link to this episode, which once we are done making pod, I'm going to do some listening pod like all of our fans and friends out there too. So.
Yes. I will probably, I've got this wall mount I bought for my PlayStation. So I'd never thought this to be a thing, but people have started finding ways, space-saving ways to put your VCRs, but to put any sort of, let's say, peripheral, your receivers, your game systems, your Apple TVs on the wall to help hide the cords and stuff. So I will be probably watching or listening to that episode again while doing a little office organizing. You and I both love to organize our offices.
We do. That was actually, as of recording today, that was my plan. And I've got cords everywhere, Rob's, including a very old XP machine that is still VCR capable for recording movies onto that we're going to need down the road. So, I envy you your hidden cords, sir.
Well, and we should remind everyone, if you have a movie you want Bill and I to cover that you don't think we'll be able to find ourselves, we are accepting VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. Send it with a self-addressed stamped envelope and we'll send it right back to you.
That's true. We actually would do that. Rob, do you think it's time for us to consider a P.O. box?
You know what? I do. And if we got 5 more patrons at this point in time, I think they would make life just a little bit more easy, you know?
Because the P.O. box address, as I've watched shows, both video and podcast grow, the P.O. box inception seems to be the true mark of growth of your show. Yes. When you have a place to send things that people want to either bless you or curse you with. And in this movie thing that we're doing, I'm sure that could go either way, but I'm down for any of it.
Absolutely. So listeners, we want to hear from you. The schedule that Bill and I have been on is really allowing us to do a lot more, a lot faster. So, if you want it, tell your friends, get them on the Patreon, and let's do this damn thing.
Absolutely.
Speaking of damn things, should we drive things into this movie?
Only if we can do it forcefully. Maybe we should do a whole series that just is movies that end in the word force.
Wow.
Well, that'd be a lot of cheese to get through, I have a feeling. But
yeah,
let's just focus on the one today. We have watched 1989's Driving Force, starring Sam Jones, Catherine Bach, one of my personal favorites, and Don Swayze.
Wow.
And to do the back of the box today, Rob, I have a treat for you.
Ooh.
I'm going to do the synopsis this time.
Wow.
And I'm going to do it from the actual back of the box.
What are you talking about? I always do it from the actual back. That is incredible. And you have a cover of that VHS that I had not seen before.
Mm-hmm. I have had this in my possession for quite some time. So, well, you have the possession of all the boxes in your, I believe you have one of those salt mine cellars like they stored the Carson show in to keep them all protected.
It's why it was hard for me to find a place to move to. It had to come with salt mine.
Yeah, that's things for realtors that are real tough. But I like it. You gave them a challenge. Uh-huh. So I have to keep my poor copy just in the entertainment center. But it sits here, and I am going to read this week and just going to revel in what the back of this box says. So here we go. Driving Force. From its breathless opening, Driving Force grabs you and thunders into a world where all you can do is hold on. Madder than Mad Max, more ferocious than the Road Warrior, beyond anything you've imagined. This apocalypse on wheels takes you into the future where the people are as hard and unforgiving as the landscape. Here, a fierce band of marauders, the Black Knights, rule the road and everyone on it. Into this chaos comes a fearless warrior, Sam Jones, to challenge them. Together with a tough, seductive woman named Harry, Catherine Bach, he pits himself against the destroyers in a duel that races across miles of hairpin curves for the most valuable prize of all, their lives.
Here's the most honest thing from the back of that box, Bill. And that is the Black Knights rule the road. The road, one road is what they rule.
I was sure you're going to say the one thing that's true from the back of this box is the names of the actors.
Well, yeah. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, we're going to get into the back of the box versus the reality of the tape that we watch. So,
well, this reminds me a lot of when Stoned Age on the front of the box was like better than Dazed and Confused or something like that.
Yeah, and I get it because back in the VHS days, of course, in video, the cover's what grabbed you. They would go all out on the cover usually. And more often than not, it would be some glorious painted cover that would nail you and you'd be like, I'm going to watch this. And then they got your money and it's too late. So you're just...
Too late.
You just get what you get at that point. So this one is... well, I'm going to save my thoughts on this. This plays in later, but yes, it's the VHS cover is not unglorious, but it's let's just say it's interesting and go.
Let's just say this is a movie that looks like it's shot on tape. If you were to look at the cover of the VHS box,
correct? Yes,
Bill. This movie takes place in the future, right?
I don't know. I don't honestly know.
Feels like it's supposed to.
It feels like it's supposed to. That's what the box says, that it's the future. but we're not actually sure when this takes place.
Which makes it a little bit more frightening, you know?
Yeah, it does. It also has an effect on how this story, at least for me, is perceived and how it flows along. So, again, these are some points we're going to get into.
Well, should we get into the fun facts of it all?
I think so. I think there is some fun to be had in this movie, and I think we should throw out some of the facts that we've unearthed. Rob, since I read the back of the box, would you like to throw one out here first?
Oh, absolutely. This movie is produced, or one of the producers is one of my favorites. Australian producer Anthony Janane,
really?
I believe. Yes, he produced one of the best movies ever made, 1982's Turkey Shoot.
Whoa. One of the best ever made?
Well, in terms of trash cinema.
Hey, that sounds great.
And many, many years ago, it was covered on a version 1 of a podcast that I now have evolved into version 2.
Oh.
So it's kind of horror, kind of Most Dangerous Gamey. You know, it's a turkey shoot.
So were you excited when you saw his name pop up on screen? Did that immediately put some hopes? Because you had not seen this movie, correct?
Yeah. Hope was there. Now, I haven't seen 2014's Turkey Shoot, but produced by the same guy, must be a remake. Maybe we'll have to check that out one day. But hope was there. I was like, okay, so this might be the good type of trash cinema. And, you know, the ratings will come when they come. Mm-hmm. But I was very excited about this producer. What's a fun fact you've got?
Well, now I'm going to circle back to said box because, so to be honest, and we always want to be honest with our friends out there, the cover to all the VHS releases of this movie are more blatant lies than usual low budget movies. As I said, most of these movies would get like some glorious painted cover of the shirtless hero firing a shotgun while holding the babe and all that stuff. But these covers, they all show a semi-truck, which with the title of the movie you'd think would be right, a semi-truck that does not appear in this movie at all. It's probably lifted, I'm going to imagine, from a GMC brochure.
Okay.
So they've probably just pulled it off of there. The American cover has, and I'm going to hold it up for you to see again.
Yes.
That's Catherine Bach and Sam Jones standing in front of this. But if you look closely, both of their heads are photoshopped or clipped onto model bodies who are wearing some outfits. And while Catherine's not so bad, seems to they get it right, Sam has got his neck distended where it is growing out of his back of his spine, and the body is far too small for the head.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about that, Bill.
And all the guns are photo clipped or clip arted into their hands.
It's almost like an AI art that we see.
It's just terrible. It's just the worst.
Well, there you go.
I couldn't have just spent a little money and got somebody to do a poster. Now, I will say, only the Japanese cover that I found shows the actual red tow truck that Sam Jones drives in this movie. And it does have screenshots from the movie, which the American release does on the back of the box. But the front cover, the one that really grabs you, and that's why it grabbed me when I found this. I was collecting all things Dukes of Hazzard, and Catherine Bach starred in this movie. But I remember getting this and going, that ain't right. So
it really is not.
No. And it kind of, once you see that, it would have set the tone in the VHS bracket of tapes or in a video store that I probably would have walked past this one. So boo on you, cover, for being more of a lie than what the actual movie is.
I love that you were trying to collect things Dukes of Hazzard. I love that you were able to have such a sniper-like eye on the cover of this VHS. Not that it's that difficult to see.
Right.
But man, you think like it takes so much more effort to do that. Like why not just give me a truck and put the title on there, even if it's the wrong truck?
Absolutely. Well, the truck in the movie's kind of cool. I mean, it's a big old red tow truck at the end. And of course, we don't see it right away, but the Japanese cover makes it look very dynamic. They could have done better with actually less effort, but yet they chose to do more effort. And, even to the point of distorting the logo for the driving force font that apparently is all bent.
It's been in a wreck. It's got dents.
Yeah. It's a wreck just like this movie. So that part is true.
I will mention one other fun thing then.
Alrighty.
If we're in wreck mode. So a lot of times when you go to IMDb, you'll have like a quote section or not fun facts, but facts about the film. Some are fun, some are completely made up. There's also goofs, things that people have picked out of watching this. Not really much of that on IMDb. A lot of times you and I like to mine that, see what it is, go look up more information about what the person is talking about, see if we can fact check it in any sort of way, and go from there. But then I just saw, what are they showcasing on this one? And it's just the featured review. And anyone who's spent time on IMDb or Letterboxd knows that there's a type of person that leaves reviews on Letterboxd, and there's a type of person that leaves reviews on IMDb. Sometimes there's a mixture in that Venn diagram, but usually they are of a different mind. And here's what we had on Driving Force's featured review on IMDb. Not what I thought. I was looking for an action-packed movie with trucks, and I got that, kind of. The movie seems to fall flat in the development of the characters and their relationships, and the movie feels flat. Sam Jones and Catherine Bach are good enough. Don Swayze is not too bad as a bad guy. Movie is far from a waste of time, but not something I would probably watch again. Featured review.
Not exactly 5 stars or nothing, is it?
No. And also, just like, I love that it's like, it's far from a waste of time. Bill, you will not be wasting your time if you watch this movie, but you won't ever watch it again.
I won't be in a hurry to watch it again. Yeah. That's for sure. It's more like the experience of having watched it and shared it, which, hey, we made a podcast about that. So that's great.
I would watch this movie again. Not anytime soon, but I don't think but that's just me. I guess I'm more of a Letterboxd guy.
Well, it also goes in for what you're looking for. There's the fan of the genre, the B movie, the bad movie, there's all the people that kind of distill theirs down to this thing. And you and I look at everything in a much broader context, and broader, but essentially with the same question. Did you have any fun?
Yeah.
And what was it? Yeah. So the movie's got some fun stuff in it. It does. It's just not the best example of some trashy VHS fun.
For sure. Well, what other fun fact did you have?
So like you said, we don't just rip off the trivia from the page. We usually look at it and then it leads you somewhere else. And there isn't any really. There's none on the island. I even searched the internet. I looked for articles, looked for anything I could find. Couldn't really find anything extra. But I'm looking at the cast list and I was looking at the name on there, and the name is Ansel Cook. He plays Pete, who is the older gentleman who is Steve/Sam Jones's friend, who he meets and hangs out with, but eventually partners up with in another business. And I'm looking at this guy going, something familiar going on here. And so, of course, click on the biography and look back. So Ansel Cook also was in Roadhouse.
Oh, really?
Which, of course, starred Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, look at that. He doubled the Swayze connection automatically in one shot. So there's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
Apparently there's the 1 degree of Ansel Cook. Goes right between the Swayze boys in a loop. And not only that, something else. He guest starred on Dukes of Hazzard in season 2, starring, of course, Catherine Bach. So this is just
a great little reunion on.
Yeah, this movie's kind of a coming home kind of thing. And you know what? For me, when I got Flash Gordon and Daisy Duke and one of the Swayzes, particularly Dawn, on screen, I can't complain too much.
Yeah.
So I won't. So I thought it was great when you go kind of dig into those little connections and just see, oh yeah, this one to this one to this one. It's just a lot of fun. So, and I liked his character in this movie. I thought he was great to watch.
He was also in 1987's Dudes. Do you remember that movie?
No, I don't.
3 punk-loving dudes in NYC need a change and drive a VW Beetle to California. After rednecks kill one of them in Arizona, they want justice. A cute girl helps them.
Whoa.
I need to mark this down.
Yeah.
Watch Dudes.
Yeah, put that on our spreadsheet, Rob's, under, killer road trip movies.
Yes. Okay, well, Bill, let's move on to our killer likes of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that this movie takes place in the future, kind of. Not a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that I can say.
Yeah.
There's another scene that I like where they just push the house off the cliff, but we'll get there. But I just think that, yes, we are TIG welding things to our cars, which I guess means that we're in the future.
Well, it's always the sign of the apocalypse when your car is covered in washing machine parts and spikes off a combine from an old rusted piece of farm equipment.
That is so true. That is so true.
I mean, think, Rob, you and I at one point in the past, we watched Knight Rider 2010, and don't you think some of that looks like this?
Yes. Wow. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was not that long ago.
No.
At all.
Nah.
Wow.
Just one show ago. It was great.
Just one show ago. Well, what's something that you liked in the movie?
So, for a movie that's called Driving Force, the driving scenes that are in this movie are really good. Could use a few more of them, but the stuff that's in here, those tow trucks, and to describe for our friends out there, these tow trucks are not tow trucks like you see today on the street. The bigger trucks, the bigger thing. They look like modified, souped up golf carts that they've made out of roll bar and a big motor, and they fly. I mean, they are flying around on these roads like crazy. They're light. They have, for some reason, I have to believe that every vehicle in this future is convinced it will never rain because there are no tops and no doors, no security, no way to lock anything up. Nothing practical about any of it. But they zip in these things. And the final chase scene where at that end, our hero, Steve, played by Sam Jones, he, of course, does the montage, and he and Pete build the super tow truck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this big red vehicle with a blower on the hood and all this stuff. And that thing takes off, and they have a great chase scene towards the end of this movie. And actually 2 great chase scenes at the end of this movie. It's really, really good. The driving's great. The stunt work is great. It all picked up. I mean, right at the end, I was up and invested in it at that point. And there's actually a point where Steve rams this red truck into another vehicle, and I see the hood fly up, and the plastic blower that is only screwed to the hood, because the hood flies up and the blower goes with it, made me think, hey, they beat Fast and the Furious to it by years. Years. Take that, Toretto. So all the driving parts of this movie are fantastic. I just wish it would took up another half of the movie.
Well, Bill, I don't think it's explicitly clear if anyone is listening to this and hasn't seen the movie, but this movie is about battling tow truckers in the future. Yes, the Marauders rule the road or whatever. The Night, what are they called?
The Black Knights. Yeah.
Rule the road. But the Black Knights are a gang of tow truck guys.
Yeah. A gang of 3.
Yeah. And one of them has really great eyeshadow.
Well, I couldn't figure out if I wanted to call him David Bowie or, he really has this, I don't know what you call it, Rob. It's sort of goth, Mad Maxy punk look, but then in the middle of the movie, for some reason, he changes into a white linen suit. He goes full Don Johnson to go.
Well, that's a good point, Bill, because it brings up my next like, and that is the fashion in this movie. It's great. It does that sort of thing where it's it's made in 1989, but we kind of got to give it this punk edge, but also it's kind of futuristic, which just means punk sometimes, or dirtbag. But they also have to have a tow truck aesthetic, so the hats and such. But even our main character, he wants to buy his daughter a dress, and they give him a dress at first. that just looks like a brown paper bag. And he's like, can I get something a little less government issue? And he's into fashion. I just think that anything anyone's wearing in this movie, including the linen suit, could be worn today you'd have to pick the event, but could be done.
It's entirely possible. I will tell you that my wife was with me when we watched some of this, and she might disagree on some of the ladies' fashions.
Fair. But all that stuff's coming back, man.
It is, and it stands out, particularly Catherine Bach's wardrobe. She changes outfits in one scene that's supposed to be the span of a day, no less than 4 times.
Yeah.
It's great. It's just like every time she leaves the room, different outfit. Sam Jones, same chinos and white shirt. And she's next thing she's got is bedazzled till the cows come home. It's pretty cool.
It's great. Well, what's your other like?
My other like is, as I've mentioned before, it's Don Swayze.
Well,
and it really makes me happy that in this movie, which I picked, that Don really does get to shine. He's not top billing, but he's our top antagonist. And I think he brings it as a psychopathic tow truck driver. His energy is
he does channel it.
He does. His energy is better than anybody's. He doesn't come off as being stupid insane. I mean, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he's menacing and he's manic. But there's reasons for why he goes in between. It's almost like he goes into plot mode, rage mode, and then he's enjoying himself a little too much. I think it's a great performance, and especially bounced off one of his partners, Surf, the guy with the eyeshadow, who plays it like a crazed Billy Idol wannabe type of weird energy that's just, he's creepy. And you almost think at one point he's like some kind of alien, the way he acts with people, like a serial killer.
Yeah.
But Don, you buy it. You totally buy him. And he plays a guy named Nelson in this movie. And I think he's great as the threatening antagonist of this movie. It's just, he knows what he's got to work with. And that Swayze look can be used for evil just as well as it can be used for good. And he proves it in this movie.
Well, that brings up one of my dislikes, Bill. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I bring that up real quick?
Please.
Don Swayze, his character has cancer in this movie.
Uh-huh.
And is that supposed to be why he's acting all wild and menacing, do you think? Because it only comes in like towards the end.
Yeah, it is. And I saw that too. And the problem is they didn't need that.
No.
They didn't need it at all because he was perfectly on the road to being somebody who was not going to let Sam Jones get away with taking his business and doing him wrong. He didn't need this extra death wish kind of, well, now it's okay if I die sort of thing. He didn't need that. And it just comes out of left field. Like,
yeah.
And you see him coughing in a bathroom at one point and you're immediately like, all right, something's wrong with him. And later on, towards the very end, yes, he gets that cancer diagnosis. And I'm just like, you could have just substituted more driving, movie. You didn't need this particular thing. And unfortunately, I think it's one of the worst scenes for him in the movie when he gets the diagnosis because his dialogue is fairly shit.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where it's like, you're not gonna microwave me to get rid of it or whatever he says. And you're kind of just like, well, why? Why are you so against, like, I understand that some people, have their own thoughts and processes when you get sick and how you want to handle it. But also, I have no reasoning to understand why Don Swayze's character feels this way.
Right. And the way this movie's set up, you're not technically given the idea that, this isn't back alley cancer treatment of the future where they just crack open a toaster oven and shove it at you and radiation. Like, not really told, is it good? Is it bad? Is it any worse than this today? And when he does that scene, he's not talking to anybody. He's just talking to the air to let us know that he's going to go out with a bang. And it's like, hey, man, we kind of figured that out already.
Yeah. And also, he doesn't do the thing that we get in most movies, which I guess is a good thing now that I think about it. He's not like coughing into a handkerchief halfway through the movie, which is good and bad. Nothing is like signaled that something could happen.
Yeah, and it was weird because at this particular moment, we were watching Breaking Bad, hadn't seen it before, so the whole time once he starts, I was like, "Meh, I know what that is." Yep. He's got the Walter White cough.
Yep. Well, Bill, what is something that you disliked in the film?
Well, I'm going to carry on with this thought as we talked about what things look like in the future. This movie's filmed in the Philippines, and it expects us to believe that this setting is some post-apocalyptic world or economically crushed America. They talk about unemployment rates, and there's people standing in lines for stuff, and it's all, torn up villages and busted up buildings. But this movie never explains what this world is or where they are or how it works. We basically only can go off the back of the box where it says future, post-apocalyptic, but we don't know where. It's very 89 in the things that we see. Is it an alternate world? We don't know why anything works the way it works. Everything is strewn in trash everywhere Sam Jones goes, but there are still rich people because his mother-in-law and father-in-law are incredibly rich.
And they're still into oil?
Yeah. But he's got a job and there's lawyers, and he talks about why he still has to pay the phone bill and the electric bill and send the kid to school. And there's all these like normal domestic problems. But then again, why are these wrecked cars so precious? Because it's just people are dying for these things, and it's like they're towing them away and there's nothing in them. There's about 4 ounces of tin in each one. Like I don't understand the stakes of this world. Harry is rich. She lives in the mansion.
Yeah.
And everything seems to be within 10 square miles of each other. But then they talk about things that were built in the 50s as being almost like ancient, and because they're precious. And I don't know. And because it is the Philippines, there's nothing American there really. They have some motorcycles, but all the cars, none of these cars look like any cars we know.
Yeah.
It does look very Mad Max, but this movie needs a crawl. If they're going to do this,
true,
it needed a crawl. And if you could have given us that in the first couple of minutes, and along with, the long Knight Rider front wheel B-roll as the credits roll over, it would have really helped a lot. But I guess they just kind of went, things are bad and you'll figure it out. And unfortunately, I spend a big chunk of the movie back between scenes going, okay, what now?
Who's doing what?
Yeah. And when you don't know the world, whatever that world is, that part doesn't matter. But you need to know what the rules are of what you're watching. And this one kind of just leaves you dangling.
Yeah. My other dislike, so you have a dislike that was really in vain with something I wanted to say. So I'll just go quickly on a different one. And that's it, like the bad guy tow trucker's plan ain't too smooth.
No, it is. How did I describe it? Oh, I know how I described it. It's very Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. They put a big tree trunk in the road, and if you hit it, they somehow con you into giving them money.
Something like that, where they have to sign on a clipboard before they can do anything. And I guess the clipboard says you give up your life or something. I don't know.
Question mark and then profit.
Question mark and then profit, because I think they have to pay for those matching black biker suits somehow that they ride around in.
That is true. And makeup ain't cheap in the future.
Yep, there's that. And then I don't know, they have a weird thing of just going, we'll give this a try. And it's like they go back and forth between not being too smart and then being just smart enough to get away with stuff. I don't know. They're not the key crime
syndicate
figures. Yeah, they're not that you would think. They're not Goodfellas, let's put it that way.
Yeah, but Bill, I think we can both agree on this one. Tell me your other dislike.
So this movie is less driving force and more domestic issues force. Sam Jones's character, Steve, there's a whole series of storylines around his kid, his Becky, is his daughter. She's 8 years old. And the mother-in-law and father-in-law, of course, his wife is gone. They're fighting for custody issues. And then there's Steve and Harry's relationship when they get together and they're bouncing back and forth. But, she loves him and he loves her and they get there. Yeah. But then she starts to take issue because he wants to fight back against the Black Knights. And then, that's just, there's all these things that roll in, a lot of talking about what they feel and what's going on. And they go to the beach and they hang out and they play in the surf and talk about the future. And it's like, I get it. You're setting up the stakes, they're making them have a relationship, but it just goes on and on. And at one point, the grandparents, they kidnap Becky and saying, well, I take that back. They don't kidnap her. They kind of weasel her out of his house. And then it's a back and forth between them yelling at each other. And it's, it has no need to be there. I mean, sure, the romance part of the deal in these movies, but the whole custody thing, the whole relationship with the family goes nowhere and does nothing to enhance this movie at all. So they just cut it out and put in 40 more minutes of the golf carts in the desert jumping over flaming wrecks or something. Give us something more. Some more apocalypse would be great.
Yeah. I just think that this is about 3 movies put into one. You've got Domestic Issues Force, like you said. You've got the Don Swayze character story. And then you've got battling tow trucks in the future. And they somehow try to they've got different colored pieces of thread to sew together this ripped up pair of jeans. Which is perfect for 1989, I guess.
I suppose so. But I mean, if you really want to call your movie Kramer versus Irreconcilable Differences versus DC Cab, I guess you can, but
may not be the best look.
Well, I don't pick up movies with trucks and people holding guns on the cover to hear about why your kid should get to stay with you and not their rich grandparents.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to do that movie, you might as well just go watch Over the Top because that whole thing's true. That's whole thing's true. Stolen from that. So,
and remember, if we ever decide to do Over the Top, pro wrestler Colt Cabana said he'd come on the podcast. So one of these days, we'll need to do that.
Oh, that needs to happen.
Yeah, but I think we're going to have to figure out what that series is. Is it all Stallone all the time? Who knows?
I don't know. That could be I think that could be Wrestlers Gone Silver Screen because there are wrestlers in that. I think Big John Studd's in that movie.
And wrestlers love to podcast. Anyway, we'll offline this one. But hey, everyone, we're keeping this behind the paywall, friends. You all know what's up. All right, Bill, let's move on to amusing moments.
Yes.
I talked about this earlier. The bad guys' plan. They need a signature.
Oh, man.
They must get a signature.
They do. They really do.
We don't really know what happens once they do get the signature.
No.
But they have to sign away their life. They have to sign away their possessions. They have to do something. And I'm sorry, if this is the future, then the only way this would work is somehow if the government or some sort of institution is so corrupt that as long as you have the signature, this will work. But also, if we were that far gone, why would you need a signature if you're in like a post-apocalyptic world?
Right.
But we're also not that far from what things are like today because we've had all of the domestic dispute discussion. So the signature wouldn't hold up in a court of law because the people were signing under duress. Like, what is going on?
I don't know, because we don't ever see the consequences of this signature.
Yeah.
There's no point to go like, oh, there's nobody showing up at one of these people's houses to take their stuff. I will say this. I don't understand the signature, but the signature thing gives us 2 spectacular moments when they do it because Surf, our glammed up tow truck driver,
yes,
he is berating a man who is sprawled on the hood of his car, who is clinging to life, who's clearly incapable.
You must sign.
Yeah, incapable of holding the pen, much less signing a piece of paper. And he's slow talking, baby talking him into. And then he flips out, grabs a sledgehammer, and starts slamming this guy's car as if that's going to inspire him to get better.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild. But then Don Swayze, gotta love him, delivers just one of the best lines that made me laugh out loud when he said it. He's over there trying to get a signature from a couple. The lady is under the car. She's bleeding. She's hurt. She's unconscious. The boyfriend or whoever is sitting there next to him. And Don Swayze's going on about, you got to sign the thing, got to sign the thing. And to the point where he picks up the lady's arm and the guy's going, she's needs a doctor. She's hurt real bad. And he shakes her arm and goes, looks like it's got one more signature left in it. Like cold-blooded with a smile on his face. It is great. It's just great.
Well, Bill, what's something that amused you?
So, here's one part where Becky really got me laughing. Harry and Steve and Becky, they go out to the beach. Harry keeps a camper on a hillside. And my hillside's a small cliff, probably 40 feet high. And
it's very much reminiscent of Mr. Rockford.
Exactly. It's very Paradise Cove looking. And Becky's inside the camper, and the Black Knights come up. They want revenge. So they push the camper with Becky over this cliff. It flips upside down, lands on its top, and completely explodes, as a camper should. They're made out of plywood and dreams. That's all these. We've owned campers. They're not something you want to be in a high impact situation with. This thing just shatters into 1,000 pieces, pancakes down on this 8-year-old girl, and they run over to it. And Becky somehow survives this. And she's apparently her internal organs are filled with pancake syrup. And that's what she's covered in when they pull her out of this thing. And that's like, it doesn't look like blood at all, but it is. But no, I'm like, no, as soon as that thing hit the ground, I'd forgotten the end of the movie. I'm like, oh, she's dead. Becky's gone, man. This is where the whole revenge plot comes in. And nope, she's not. She's gonna be okay. And that just made me laugh.
It was a little wild.
I will be clear, I'm not rooting for a small child to be crushed in a camper incident in a post-apocalyptic future.
Yes, everyone, be careful. And also, we respect that the double rainbow guy has passed away.
Yeah. Please don't send us that clip.
No. Bill, it was quite amusing. Almost as amusing as when Harry meets Steve for the first time.
Oh my God.
The whole interaction reeks of, no, just keep rolling. I know there are no lines written for this scene, but just keep talking and be your goofy self. You've really got it. And it makes sense. I don't want to say it doesn't make a sense, because it makes sense. But it is probably the most stilted and dumb dialogue I've ever heard.
I will agree with you. Sam Jones, charming guy.
Sure.
Make no mistake. I think he's great. I love Sam Jones. Flash Gordon, one of my favorite movies of all time. And he plays this, he's not being creepy or anything. You're right. I think goofy's the right word. He's
trying to be flirty after he's coming out from getting knocked out.
There's the thing. Let's put this in context. Not 10 minutes before he decides to hit on Catherine Bach's character, he has just had the crap kicked out of him by the Black Knights. They have I would call it semi karate kick, but I'll give Billy Blanks credit. He gets Ty-bowed. Yeah. He gets Ty messed up on the side of the road and dropped just on his face on this pavement, to where he should be in a lot of pain at this moment. And he's not in so much pain that he can't completely flash that winning smile and try to get on Catherine Bach's good side. It's nuts.
And it's just stilted too. Like, he's just like, oh, your name is Harry, huh? I'm glad your dad was disappointed. Just like very, I don't know. You could see the bird still flying around his head, but it just didn't work, but it was very amusing.
It was amusing.
Well, what's your other amusing moment? Well,
it ties into the first moment, and it brings all our stars together. After Becky's been dropped off the cliff, there's the second to last huge chase scene that happens. And so they're all off to the hospital. They make it there. Harry's got Becky. She's in her car. She gets to the hospital. And right as Steve pulls up to the hospital. Harry runs out to tell him, Becky's going to be fine. Her camper crushing injuries, only superficial.
Only.
It's all going to be great. Only to, at that exact moment, to be run over by Nelson in his tow truck. He comes barreling down the street. Harry pushes Sam Jones, Steve, out of the way, takes a full-on tow truck. We see her fly through the air, and what it kind of looks like Kathy Bach. I'm not sure she didn't do this stunt, but we hear the huge thud, the hit. Sam screams her name. We don't see her, but she's been run over by a car. The implication is she dead.
Yes.
And not so much. We find out at the end of the movie that Harry survives. Apparently she's made out of the same camper material that Becky is. And all she has on as she lies on the chase lounge by the pool as Steve comes out is an ace bandage wrapped around one knee. And ironically, it's not the knee that was towards the tow truck as she got hit. It's on her right leg instead of her left. And not a cut, no crutches, not even a glorious hair on Catherine Bach's head is out of place. So, man, the physics of this future might be a post-apocalyptic. The physics are crazy. Maybe that's why they want the cars. The cars are no longer capable of killing anybody.
Yeah.
So they have to find the ones that can still kill, and clearly the ones on the road have. So I don't know. Maybe that's driving force too.
We'll have to check it out in our sequel series.
Oh, my Lord.
But Bill, before we wrap up today's episode, got to rate this thing.
Uh-huh.
Time for 5 nights for $1.
5 nights for $1, our patented rating system where I do a callback to video stores of yore. Usually you'd walk in, you might see a little rack that said, hey, all these movies, $1 gets them for 5 nights. You go in, you throw your money down. In this case, we are saying we've gone in, we've rented Driving Force, we've thrown our buck, we've gone home, you've watched the movie. Question now is, how many of those 5 nights are you going to keep it? And that only relates to the movie you watched. This relates to nothing else in the world, no other movies. We're not comparing it that way. Simply on the experience of what you've seen on the screen. How long would you keep Driving Force of those 1 to 5 nights? And Rob, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hate to say it, Bill. I think I'd only keep this for 1 night. And I'd bite the driving bullet and spend another $1 to risk it all again the rest of the week. How about you?
That's fair. And part of me actually considered before we went on air almost disqualifying myself because I've clearly owned this VHS for quite a few more nights than 5. More like 5 times 1,000. But that's not to say I can't participate because it was like watching it fresh again when I watched it last night.
Sure.
Look, I'm not going to be crazy about this. I'm going to go maybe 1.5 on this one. I'm going to tell you.
Like you like the idea of the film.
Love the idea of it. I love Don Swayze in this movie, in my opinion.
But he doesn't carry the movie.
And I love Sam Jones and Catherine Bach. This is not their best performance. And so in the middle of the movie parts with all that domestic stuff, and like I said, the weird trying to figure out what kind of world this is. I can't lose myself in this story because I don't understand the world.
Yeah.
And the sign of a good movie is whatever that world universe is, you lose yourself in it for the movie. And it might make you want to come back.
And I'm with you.
I would probably watch the back end of this movie again.
I could see that. And it's a lot like our previous film, Terror in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
I didn't want to keep it for very long, but I at least understood what was going on. It wasn't great.
Right.
But it told a coherent tale.
It did. And you understood where you were, even if, once again, that box told you were going to be one place and you were at the old bean factory instead.
And my friend Frank wasn't even there.
No. If Frank Stallone had showed up in this movie, maybe that would have been better. But I can't slug through the first part just to get to the second part. So I'd probably watch the back half again the following afternoon. And then I would take this on back to the store and I would I'd probably be looking to try my luck on that same shelf, because if this is on there, odds are there's something a little better on there. So at least I think Driving Force, while it's fun, it's a fun watch with your friends or to sit and talk like we do. But, kind of look to the left and right of it and see what else is on that shelf.
Now, Bill, we don't always talk about what's up next, and maybe we should going forward. But I know our next episode is Best of the Best.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few more coming up. There's one on this list that has 2 previous movies before it. And I just need to know, as I'm preparing, do I need to watch those 2 previous movies?
No, it's in a franchise, and I hadn't seen this movie either. I've seen the first one.
Uh-huh.
But I did a little research on it, and, this is not a franchise where you are going to be in trouble by not having jumped in.
But maybe now that I have a few weeks ahead, I could just at least watch those 2.
Oh, I absolutely plan to catch up, because these are 2 movies. At least the first one, I am very happy to watch over and over and over again, which I've already done. And, when you can say the words Golan Globus, it's a good day. It's a real good day.
Awesome. Well, Bill, I always enjoy watching these trashy, and sometimes classy movies with you.
I enjoy the same thing, Robs. This is a great time, and I love hanging out with my friend, and I love Friday night when we get to talk about the weird thing that we've just watched.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you, Rob Adler, for editing our shit, and thank you, all of our patrons. Tell a friend. We're trying to grow this clubhouse, and we will see you next time on Bill and Rob's An Excellent Adventure. Goodbye.